This is the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. Namaskar. The news snippets. Read by Maria Albina Michael. 724,578 patients have recovered from COVID-19 in the country. In the last 24 hours, 24,491 people have recovered. 333,395 tests were conducted for COVID-19 in the country in the past 24 hours. Delhi reported less than 1,000 cases in the last 24 hours. The active cases are about 15,000. Health experts have urged against any lowering of guard in Delhi. India and US have carried out joint naval exercises in the Indian Ocean. India has also deployed 10 Jaguar maritime strike fighter aircrafts at the Car Nicobar Air Base that overlooks the maritime boundaries of Southeast Asia. British Health Secretary Matt Hancock has said in the House of Commons that there was promising news on the COVID-19 vaccine that is being developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca. UK has ordered 100 million doses of the vaccine. Madhya Pradesh Governor Lalji Tandon has passed away after a prolonged illness. He was under treatment at a hospital in Lucknow. The President and Prime Minister have condoled Mr. Tandon's passing away. West Bengal to go in for twice-a-week total lockdown on Thursdays and Saturdays. The northeastern state of Sikkim is on complete lockdown from today till 27th July. EU leaders have reached a deal after marathon discussions at a summit in Brussels. French President Macron described the deal as a landmark. UK has suspended its extradition treaty with China over Hong Kong. Beijing has termed it as interference in its internal matter. The T20 Cricket World Cup that was to be held in Australia has been postponed. And that is the end of the news snippets.
Papa, hello everyone. My name is Toji Gonka. I love play chess. It's a fun game.
Chess seems to be very popular with school students this year. Vidisha Yadav of class 10th B, Sri Venkateshwara International School.
Hi guys, I'm Vidisha, and on this International Chess Day, let's celebrate. Check and mate.
And now we have Arpit Nair of class 8B with a small write-up.
Arpit Nair from Sri Venkateshwara International School. Today on the occasion of International Chess Day, I would like to share some interesting facts about chess. Chess was derived from an Indian village game, Chaturanga, before 7th century. I want to say, who is the current chess world champion? It is Vishwanathan Anand from India. Do you know that the number of unique chess games played in the world is more than the number of electrons in the universe? The number of electrons in the universe is 10 to the power 29, and the number of unique chess games in the world are 10 to the power 219. Now I would like to tell how chess helped me in my day-to-day life. It helped me build concentration, especially in maths. It also helped me to think in a critical thinking manner and in aptitude and general knowledge. I love playing chess. It is a wonderful game. Thank you.
Sayak Roy Chaudhary of class 7C. He plays for Delhi State at the national level.
Hi friends, my name is Sakra Chaudhary and I am from class 7C. Today I am going to show you a chess trap which many opponents actually fall for. This trap starts with the move d4, black plays knight f6, white plays c4, and here black plays e5. He gives up a pawn, but for some temporary advantage. So white accepts the pawn, and black goes to central square with his knight to e4. He controls many good squares from here. So here you would think that why not play f3 and get this knight away. But this is actually the worst move possible in this position, and white is completely lost. Here black plays bishop to b4 check. You cannot play knight c3 as knight will capture c3 and white's position is worse. So you will have to play bishop to d2. But here, queen h4 check will come. The only way to block this check is by playing g3. But here knight captures g3. You cannot capture the knight as queen captures g3 will be mate. So you will think that why not capture a free bishop? But the bishop is not free as knight e4 is mate. The king can only run to the square d2, but now the d2 square is covered by the knight and there are no blockage in the way of the check. So, thank you, stay happy.
Arjun Kaushal Kejriwal of class 7C playing with his brother Aryan of class 10. Hardik Mittal of class 9 cornered his younger brother Jay Mittal of class 8 Sri Venkateshwara International School.
Check. 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 Checkmate. Jeet gaya.
We have Shaurya Yadav, 4 years old, playing chess of Sri Venkateshwara International School.
You are tuned to the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. We now bring you today's commentary, India-US Strategic Energy Partnership, a win-win for all. It is scripted by Shankar Kumar and read by Kaushik Rai. India has taken a significant step towards energy security. New Delhi has signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with the US for cooperation on strategic petroleum reserves, operation and maintenance. This move is of immense importance. It was accomplished last week during the second ministerial meeting of the Indo-US Strategic Energy Partnership, an initiative which was established at the direction of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump in April 2018. With the signing of such MOU, the country will not only be able to ensure uninterrupted energy supply in the event of geopolitical turmoil, but also shield itself from unprecedented oil price volatility, as was seen in 2008, causing immense stress to the exchequer. Further, to overcome challenges from disruptions in its oil supply or volatility in the international oil price, India wants to increase its strategic oil stockpile by storing crude oil in the US Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Discussions between the two sides are at an advanced stage right now. Currently, India has 5.33 million tons of oil storage facility, enough to meet the country's energy requirement for 9.5 days. Under the rubric of Strategic Energy Partnership, both India and the US are also keen to maximize the benefit of each other's experience and knowledge. The announcement by the two governments for research in the areas of transformational power generation based on supercritical carbon dioxide power cycles and advanced coal technologies for power generation and hydrogen production should be seen in this context. To scale up technologies for producing hydrogen from renewable energy and fossil fuel sources and to bring down the cost of energy production, both India and the US have launched a public-private hydrogen task force. While this is seen as a visionary step in the direction of clean energy, what is noteworthy is India and the US's keenness to boost collaboration between them for the development of technology for renewable energy generation. Both sides are also keen in expanding cooperation for utilizing the economic value of converting bio-waste into biogas. The two countries would also jointly organize the first ever solar decathlon in India in 2021. Under this program, a collegiate level competition has been planned in order to prepare the next generation of professionals to design and build high efficiency buildings powered by renewables. Under the Strategic Energy Partnership, both sides are already engaged in modernizing the distribution sector so that reliable, quality 24/7 power supply could be availed by the people. Modernization of the distribution sector also involves deployment of smart meters across the countries, setting up of Smart Grid Knowledge Center. Besides, USAID and US International Development Finance Corporation are developing a concept to establish a new $25 million worth of credit guarantee for the small and medium enterprises SME sector to deploy rooftop solar. Overall aim of India and the US is to support each other's vision of national development in the energy sector. The same perspective was shared by India's Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas, Dharmendra Pradhan, who represented the country at the second India-US Strategic Energy Partnership. According to Mr. Pradhan, besides fostering bilateral energy trade and investments, India and the US are seeking to align energy cooperation with energy security, expanding energy and innovation linkages across the energy sectors of the two countries. New Delhi and Washington are also keen for an increased industry and stakeholder engagement as well as among institutions of excellence from both countries. During 2019-20, bilateral hydrocarbon trade touched $9.2 billion, accounting to 10% of the overall trade. The two sides have also seen significant reduction in the trade deficit. India is currently the fourth largest buyer of US crude and the fifth largest buyer of US liquefied natural gas. This shows while India has the market, the US has oil and gas reserves and advanced technology. In this context, the India-US Strategic Energy Partnership is a win-win situation for both. That was today's commentary entitled India-US Strategic Energy Partnership, a win-win for all. It was scripted by Shankar Kumar, journalist, and read by Kaushik Rai. This broadcast came to you from the General Overseas Service of All India Radio.
living on the edge, the coastal lives.
Survival of the fisher folk, the way ahead.
Whatever to the fisherman's dream when they're all out as you go down. Whatever to the dream of the fisherman when the cat's out of the net around. Tell me. Fade on down to the ocean. Let it fade on down to the sea, the ocean and the sea.
నా పేరు అచ్చారావు అంటారమ్మా. అందరూ ఎక్కువగా జగన్ అని పిలుస్తూ ఉంటారు. ఈ 2 గ్రామాలకి ప్రెసిడెంట్ గా చేస్తా ఉన్నాను. అలాగే దాని పాయింట్కి వస్తానమ్మా. నేను 14 గ్రామాలకు కూడా జనరల్ సెక్రటరీని మా మత్స్యకార కమ్యూనిటీకి. ఆ పూర్వక టైంలోనే నా చిన్నప్పుడు 16 ఏళ్ల వయసులోనే
My name is Acharam and I am the president of 2 villages. And I am also General Secretary of 14 villages for the fishing community. According to me, earlier there were plenty of fishes, so 5 families used to make nets and it used to cost around 5,012 rupees, and they used to go for the fishing and they used to share income among themselves. But nowadays, as the number of fishes has declined, we have to make the ring nets which cost around 1 lakh rupees, and it will be shared among 18 to 20 families.
ఆ క్యాచ్ వస్తుందా లేదా, ఈ రోజు మన కడుపు నిండుతుందా లేదా అని ఒక ఆలోచనతో వేటకెళ్తా ఉంటే చాలా భయపడినటువంటి ఆందోళన అమ్మా ఇవన్నీ కూడా.
Leaders are the core strength of every faction.
The heads and kings of the community have given up fishing for the welfare of the fellow fishermen.
Commercial fishing has been considered as a taxing task involving treacherous risks.
But the leaders have ensured to provide constant guidance and support to the community in order to keep the morals high.
నా పేరు వాసుపల్లి శ్రీహరి అండి, గ్రామస్తుడిని. అంటే మత్స్యకారులు జనరల్ ఇష్యూస్ ఏంటంటే, ఇప్పుడు ఒక గిరిజనుడు అడవిలో ఆడు పండించుకున్నట్లయితే ఎంతవరకు అయితే వ్యవసాయం చేసుకుంటాడో ఆ భూమి అతనికి వర్తిస్తుంది గిరిజనుడికి. కానీ మా మత్స్యకారులకి ఏంటంటే,
My name is Vasupalli Srihari and I am a native villager. What I personally feel is the tribals having exclusive right over the forest, but whereas coming to the fishermen, they don't have any right over the sea. For example, if any corporate company or the tourism industry are coming for the construction of their industries, the fishermen have to vacate the sea, and the government is not even showing the other alternative for the fishermen.
మీ అబ్బాయో లేకపోతే
ఎప్పుడూ తీసుకెళ్ళలేదు. ఎందుకనగా వెళ్ళనివ్వకుండా ఎందుకు ఆపారు?
లేదండి, చదువుకుంటున్నారు కదండి, మన వేటకి వెళ్ళడానికి అవదు కదా.
I'm T. Prasanna Rao. I'm the head of the Pedda Jalaripeta. My kids are studying and we don't prefer them to take to fishing because we don't want them to suffer like us.
పిల్లలతో పూసుకొచ్చామన్నమాట, చదువుకున్న అలా చదివించామన్నమాట. మాతో అన్నట్టుగా ఏటకైతే మానగా పాడైపోతాలని పిల్లలు చదివించుకుంటున్నాం.
The head of the village is fondly called as the king of the fishers, though he doesn't play a direct role in on-site fishing with the community.
But he has a crucial part to perform in being the intermediary between the fisheries department and his pack.
చిన్నప్పుడు చదువుకున్నాను కానీ బాగా చదువుకోలేదు. వేటకెళ్ళి మానేయాలి అనుకుంటే ఈ పెద్దకులు స్థానం ఇచ్చారు కదా, నాకు ఏదో ఇప్పుడు ఎలక్షన్ నాకు పారంపర్యంగా వస్తుంది.
The headmanship came to me through heredity and I don't go for the fishing. And according to my experience, the number of fishermen have increased now as compared to my childhood. And we also experienced that in the recent years, along with men, the women and our sons are also sharing the responsibility of family. My sons go for the other jobs like painting and daily wage labor, and woman works as a domestic worker.
పిల్లలు కూడా
4,000 గడప అదే ఇల్లు తాగండి కూలింగ్ 7,000 నా కూలింగ్ తాగలేదు.
My husband, being the head of the village, doesn't go for fishing himself. My sons too don't go for fishing. The only source of income we have is from marriages that happen in the village. They donate 7,000 rupees to the head, which is being divided amongst the members.
మా పెద్దలు వచ్చిన డబ్బులు ఏడీకి పంచుకుంటారు. అంటే మా ఆయన ఆధారం మీద కాదు.
Most women in the community work as domestic workers in households. I am a housewife myself.
మా వారైతేను ఇక్కడున్న సమస్యలన్నిటిని తీర్చడానికి చూస్తుంటారు. మరియు ప్రభుత్వంతో కూడా మా వారే మాట్లాడుతుంటారు. మా వారే కాదు, ఇక్కడ
My husband is the head of the community. There are more heads like him. They work as the mediators between the government and the fishermen. They convey the messages from them to us and from us to them.
మా ఊళ్ళోని పెద్దలన్నీ అందరు కలిసి, అంటే మా వారు కూడా ఉంటారు. మా వారు అందరు కలిసి ప్రభుత్వానికి కూడా చెప్తారండి మాకేం కావాలో.
రింగి వాళ్ళంతా కదా అయ్యా, రింగి వాళ్ళ మూలనే తగ్గిపోతుంది. అది అవి పండి విన్నేసి పడవు. ఆయనకి రింగులు ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. రింగులలో ఒక నుండు.
We don't know about the climate change, but the number of fishes have been decreased. The main reason behind this is the fisheries department is grabbing more fishes than us through the ring nets, and we have complained many times regarding this issue. But they have told that grab the fishes as many as you are capable of.
కాకపోతే చేపల సంఖ్య తగ్గిపోయింది.
Fishers all across Vizag are reeling with emotions of anger, disappointment and helplessness.
చేపలు ముందుకి అంటే నా వయసుకే ఇప్పటికి కొన్ని వదలని తగ్గిపోయింది. ఈ వల్ల మీరు చెప్పారే స్పీడ్ బోట్లు ఇవన్నీ వాళ్ళందరూ చంపేయడం వల్ల.
When I started fishing, from that time if we compare, the quantity of fish that we catch nowadays is come down. But also we have to remember that nowadays many more people go for fishing with speed boats and all that, so they get better catch.
ఇప్పుడు ఎందువల్ల అంటే విశాఖ కంటైనర్ టెర్మినల్ కట్టిన తర్వాత మమ్మల్ని అక్కడి నుంచి తొలగించిన తర్వాత నుంచి మాకు చేపలు అక్కడికి వెళ్లే పరిస్థితి లేదు. ఎందువల్ల అంటే 240 మీటర్లు మీరు ఏటాడుకోవచ్చు.
I'm Chinnara from Kotta Jallaripeta. Earlier days, we used to fish at GCB where fish catch level was high because of mixing of salt and fresh water. But after construction of Vishaka container terminal, we were displaced and we had the restriction of 240 meters for fishing. And if we cross those limitations, we are punished.
While living in the city, the fishermen at Pedda Jallaripeta are less prone to the damage.
కిలోమీటర్లు పెద్ద ఫాలో అవుతాం.
My name is Polana and I am from Pedda Jallaripeta. Usually in our village, we can exactly know where the fishes are available through the GPS. But earlier we don't know this.
Financial instability causes for them to look up to the government for aid or give up fishing after all.
We didn't get any jobs. It's very difficult to meet our daily expenses with the amount of 200 that we earn on an average daily. That's why we cannot educate our children.
ఇద్దరు అబ్బాయి వాళ్ళే అక్కడ యూనివర్సిటీ స్కూల్ ఉందా, ఆ స్కూల్లో అంత కొట్టినా వేసాను అయితేనే, కొట్టి వేసాను అయితేనే.
Our children have studied up to the elementary level and they are not interested in studying further. They do some odd jobs here and there, and sometimes children are also falling into bad company, but we keep on telling our children to study, and they are also not interested in taking up the work of fishermen.
యావరేజ్ కంటే మరి ఇదో చెప్తున్నా 100, 200, నాకు 500 మినిమం 500 ఉంటాయి. ఏమీ ఉండదు.
Many of us are thinking to leave this occupation because we can hardly earn 500 rupees per day, that too not every day.
While the government support at times has incentivized fisher folk to stay involved in the tradition, the pull of other professions is far more attractive a picture.
దానయ్య అమ్మ కాసు దానయ్య నేను చదువుకోలేదమ్మా ఆ పిల్లలు నలుగురు పిల్లలు ఆ ఇద్దరిని చదివించానమ్మ ఇద్దరు చదవలేదు చదివడానికి పైసలు లేక పిల్లలు లేవంచి సముద్రంలోకి పంపించాను.
My name is Danaya. I am a fisherman. I am not educated. Because of economic reasons, I have asked my children not to take up fishing. My daughter is a graduate.
10th వచ్చాను. ఆడపిల్ల డిగ్రీ చేసిందమ్మా.
ఇప్పుడు చేపల వాటైనా కూడా లేదండి పనులు అయ్యి వచ్చి బాగా
ఇప్పుడు తుఫాన్లు వచ్చే బోల్ మంది చిన్న చిన్న పనులకి వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారు.
Because of cyclones and climate disturbances, many of the fishermen are afraid of fishing and moving away to the cities to find other alternative jobs.
The younger generation in the community has been moving overseas in search of more favorable windows of chances.
మా ఊరు పెద్దగా ఉన్నారండి. మా వారేమి వేటకు వెళ్ళరు కానీ మా పిల్లలు 3 నెలల కోసం విదేశాలకు వెళ్తారు. 3 నెలలు
My children are also not going to the sea for fishing. They go abroad to countries like Malaysia, Dubai for fish-related jobs for 3 months. When they go abroad, they are paid well.
మరమ్మతులు చేయడం ఇలాంటి పనులన్నీ చేస్తారండి. అక్కడ మళ్ళీ తిరిగి వచ్చేస్తారండి 3 నెలల తర్వాత. ఇంకా
I am Kakani Nageshwara Rao, Professor Emeritus, Department of Geoengineering, Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. See, even if you provide an alternative place to live, a house to live, once you go away from the marine environment, so their livelihood completely changes. Maybe youth can find a different way of survival, but old traditional people cannot change their livelihood, so they find themselves in a difficult situation. They are forced to diversify their economic activities. But as I told you, it's not possible for many of them to quickly switch over into a different profession altogether. Only youngsters can do. For example, if a person of my age is doing something throughout life, it's not easy for me to switch over into a different profession. Whereas young people can easily diversify themselves.
The leaders who are expected to know the way, go the way and show the way are left defenseless without any choice as they see themselves failing as the baton holders every single day, while the weather gods throw new challenges at the community every day.
తుఫాన్లు అంటే సముద్రంలో చనిపోయారు. ఇక్కడ
compared to past, climate changes and cyclones are occurring often in present day. And because of these disturbances, many fishermen are losing their lives in sea itself.
తుఫాన్లు తరచు వస్తున్నాయంటారా?
Climate change and globalization have become the gruesome reality of the world, and the fishing community is one of its most affected baits.
నూకరాజు మేడం నా పేరు.
ఏం చేస్తుంటారు?
వేటకి వెళ్తాను.
వేటకి వెళ్తారు. ఎన్నాళ్ళ నుంచి వెళ్తున్నారు?
నేను అంతే మా ముత్తాతలు ఇక్కడే బ్రతికి ఇక్కడే సొంతంగా ఇక్కడ ఉండేవాళ్ళం. 3:30కి వెళ్తాను. మళ్ళీ ఈవినింగ్ 5 4 అయిపోతుంటది.
ఈవినింగ్ అయిపోతుంది.
వెళ్తాం మేడం. ఏదైనా సందర్భం ఇక్కడ ఏదైనా విషయాలు ఏం జరిగితే అప్పుడు మేము ఉండిపోతాం. అయితే
I'm Nukaraju from Chinnajillaripeta. I'm a fisherman. From generations we are into fishing and we don't want to leave our community's occupation. But we are not even able to earn the basic amount of 7,000 also, which is compelling us to move forward to cities to find alternative jobs.
ఇప్పుడు ఫిషింగ్ కి చాలా మార్పు వచ్చింది మేడం. అప్పుడు బాగా పెంపకం ఎక్కువ ఉండేది. వేటకెళ్తే బాగా దొరికి ఆ జీవనోపాధి అనకూడదు, భార్య పిల్లలతో హ్యాపీగా సంతోషంగా ఉండేవాళ్ళు. ఇప్పుడైతే మాత్రం చాలా ఇబ్బందుల్లో పడుతున్నాం. ఇప్పుడు ఆ వేట వదిలేసి ఏదైనా కూలి పని దొరికితే వెళ్ళిపోవడం అని కూడా మా ఆలోచన వస్తుంది మేడం. ఎందుకంటే నెలకు ఒక 7,000 8,000 దొరకడం కష్టం అయిపోతుంది. ఈ రోజుల్లోనే అనకూడదు 15,000 20,000 ఉంటేనే ఇంట్లో ప్రోత్సాహం అవుతుంది. అది మేడం.
Living in constant jeopardy and fear of losing their life, livelihood and the identity that they have so painstakingly built, along with several work hazards, they choose to leave their safety nets every day in hope of breaking new grounds and moving forward onto new shores.
this is Radhika. I am a graduate of the Sustainability Management Program from Columbia University in New York. To prevent the loss of lives of fishermen due to the sea level rise or change in weather, some possible solutions could be, first thing, an expert panel or a group can be formed with older fishermen who recognize the change in currents in the sea or recognize the weather conditions and when it is good to not go fishing and when it is not good. Some weather experts and some government officials to take initiative and monitor the fishermen venturing out in the sea for fishing. This will definitely prevent a lot of fishing related mishaps where fishermen tend to lose their lives. We've recently had many cases like that, so this would make a very big change in that. The second thing would be some fishermen lose out on many of the fishes because most of them have already been fished out by other big corporates with bigger boats. Some solutions could be to again bring in experts in the fisheries department who are aware of the number of breeds of fishes that are high in population during a certain season, or to monitor how much fishes each person is bringing at the port so that everybody gets a fair share of the profits from the fishing industry.
This is Dr. Shamli Singh, working as an assistant professor with Indian Institute of Public Administration. Be it fishing or be it a non-fishing profession, education is of course must. If they are educating their younger generation, they should definitely educate them. On the same lines, I would also like to add that why not you educate your younger generation and make them well equipped in the field of fishing itself, so that they know what is the morphology, what is the spatial pattern, what is the temporal pattern, what is the fish movement, where exactly can you locate the fish. Why can't you bring in the concept of oceanography? So with education in these specific fields, they can be an added advantage without leaving their traditional business. They can flourish in this.
In a world where one is known by their craft, the community struggles to hustle through with the liquidity of their art. This was the concluding episode of Living on the Edge, the Coastal Lives.
Whatever to the fisherman's dream, when the lady on another round. Whatever to the fisherman's dream, did it die, travel down, tell me, did it fade away? I did it fade on down to the ocean. I did it fade away. Did it fade on down to the sea, ocean.